Hello, and
Hi.
you're very keen already there. I think this is going to be a recurring theme of of my life really at the moment with you. But anyway, in a good way. So we are joined by our general manager, Emily Palmer. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. A bit cold because it's so snowy outside, but I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Hence having two tops on. Well,
Yeah.
two zip up tops. But yeah, no, it is literally freezing.
hmm
So this is the second one of these that we've done. I think we've actually summed up your personality by just that introduction where you you're you're on it straight away, super positive.
In people's faces. Hi to me.
No, no, I love it. I love it. But anyway, yeah, we'll get round to those sort of things. So this is really just so people can get to know you a bit better.
hmm
You'll deal with a lot of people on the logistics side, but you can just tell us a bit about what you do at Physiquipe.
Of course, yeah. So I started with Physiquipe as the operations manager, and that was everything sort of internally behind the scenes really, so supporting customers with the after sales process. So once they've purchased a system from us, making sure that we get the systems to them, replenishing our stock levels, um, supporting people on a finance end. So I'll be doing all the day-to-day accounting, and sort of slowly the role started developing into other things. So we realised we needed, for instance, an internal HR support. So naturally I ended up taking on that role. My finance role expanded, so I ended up doing quite a lot bit more in that area, and it was more finance management than more so just the day-to-day accounts. Um, the operation side, so what I ended up doing was heading up the service management department, so that's continuous today, and we've hired someone who reports into me in that sense now, and then yeah, continuing with our ongoing communication with all our manufacturers, and yeah, just generally the day-to-day stuff, a lot of admin, a lot of communication with the team. Got my finger in a lot of pies, which I very much enjoy. So yeah, naturally that developed into the general manager position, which I'm doing today, which yeah, is just exciting, different every day, can get involved in a lot of stuff. And yeah, happy days.
Very good. No, well, we'll come back a bit more about that job and some of the characteristics around that. But how did you come to join the company in the first place?
Yeah, so I was born on the 14th of February 1992. Is that where we're going to start? Or
Ideally not.
So how did I end up at Physiquipe? So studied marketing and advertising at uni. I was in Sheffield. Had a great experience there. Came out of uni, was very much one of those people that was like, what do I do now? Where do I want to go? I didn't have that sort of clear path defined. So I ended up working for an estate agent in your home little town, Didsbury, where you're based now. And I was there for a few years, and I managed to sort of understand the business world through, and I think it's really good doing that through an estate agent, because it's sort of a, small, close-knit community that we've got there. And I was able, with this quite small team that we had at the time, to get involved in a lot of stuff. So yes, the day-to-day sales, but then also behind the scenes with the finance side of it, and became sort of a personal assistant to the director there at the time, a guy called Nick Brimlow, who I'm still good friends with. So that was really lovely. And then I decided I wanted a bit more of a challenge past that point. So I ended up working for a company called Vita Group, who were Vita student at the time. And that was a much larger company. And I started as a personal assistant to a guy called Trevor Moore, who was the COO there. So again, just learned a lot of things sort of on the operational side, and ended up becoming the operations manager within that team. So was there for a good few years, and then decided I wanted to take my skills elsewhere. I'd had my first child, Rory, at the time. I was looking to go part-time somewhere, and luckily a very exciting position became available at Physiquipe, and I saw Andy's face everywhere, and I thought, looks lovely. That's the sort of guy I want to look at every day and have good conversations with. So applied for that role. And yeah, here I am, and it's just been fantastic. So I'm very lucky. It was all about timing, and I think it was meant to be. So I've managed to sort of bring all the skills that I learned at Vita really and bring it in here, work with some fantastic people there. And I still hear their voices every day when I'm doing things. And I think I've been able to bring that experience into this role. So I'm very grateful for where that's sort of taken me. But yeah, working with the team we've got now, I couldn't be happier. We've got a great dynamic. And yeah, it was just I think we believe in fate quite a lot in this company, and it did seem to be a fate thing that it was just the right timing for me in particular.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I think that when we were recruiting for your position, someone had left and they were kind of doing a hybrid role, but we wanted someone to come in and really own that space. So, in your role as a PA, then, like, what makes a good PA? And you came through a good friend of ours, Lily Shippen. We'll give Lily a shout out
Yeah,
because I, even though I've got a lot of recruiter friends, like we've not really typically gone through the recruitment process for people.
yeah,
However, with you, it was really good and successful, and it's been a great investment in in obviously paying their fees.
yeah.
But in terms of like being a PA, what do you think are good skills for that?
It's funny being a PA because I think I fell into it, and I think other people have that I've known as well fall into it because they're not sort of sure what they want to do and they want to figure out where they fit within a business. So when I started at Vita, as Trevor's PA, I think the skills that you have to have with that role is being very adaptable because you can obviously be thrown sort of anything and you know anything and everything, and you are that sort of direct support to them in their day-to-day needs, and that's everything from the travel and whatever else. But I ended up being involved in like the budgets that we were doing, and things on the finance side, things on the operations side, things on the marketing side, things on the sales side. So you've got to be really adaptable as to what you're doing. But I think it's just a really good route into anyone that does want to work in business and sort of figure out where their skill set lies. So that's what I found really good about that role. And like I say, naturally for me, I realised, well, actually my strengths are in the operations side, and that's what I like to do. And that's what naturally sort of progressed me to being promoted in that company to operations manager, and then sort of bring that skill set into where I am today. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and it was paramount to where we've sort of ended up. But yeah, I think skill set for it, you need to be adaptable, and sort of able to sort of get stuck into whatever's thrown at you.
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like it's again only doing this and following Lily's work and all of that. Is like it's more of an executive assistant role, which I think is the
Yeah,
new enhanced thing of not that there's anything wrong with a personal assistant and they all merge into one, but
yeah,
executives seem to have more responsibility involved in budgets,
yeah.
those sort of things.
I think that was actually my title, executive assistant. Yeah, that is right. Yeah,
Yeah,
bit old
yeah, no,
fashioned.
and well, that's yeah, no, those skill sets from our side, that's really what we wanted. Is like you say, the day to day, getting stuff done, actions, and just dealing with issues, or whether they're good or bad, but just dealing
Yeah,
with stuff. I guess, isn't it? In terms
yeah.
of those. So, what is important for you, like in whatever role you're in? What's important for you to get out of that? Other than, well, you can leave the financial in as well if you want, but really, what do you want to get out from a role?
A sense of achievement, I think, in terms of um I think, especially from the operational sense, I think one of the main responsibilities of being in operations is to make team members' lives easier. So that's looking at everything internally in terms of the software that you're using, your day-to-day communication internally and externally with customers, making sure your customer journey is right. And I think when you are in a team that's flowing right and flowing properly, and there's not reoccurring issues that are coming up all the time, and when team members aren't, stressed out for a reason that they don't need to be, when things are functioning, you feel like you're doing your job in operations. And I think that's when I really get a sense of achievement, when we have those weeks, when they have those months where we've gone, we've just done, things are just going right here, things are flowing, and we can see the success of it with, the numbers that are coming in, the sales that are happening, the momentum that the team has got. I think operations has got, you sort of hold up quite a lot of that weight. So for me, that's where I start seeing the sense of achievement when things are sort of going well day to day.
Mm. And what skills do you think are important?
Patience. I think you've got to be willing to invest time in a lot of areas. I think the skill is to not get bogged down by things and see things as a positive challenge rather than an issue or a hindrance. So I think that positive attitude, and that's something we say a lot, and that's when we're recruiting people, that's a really big thing that we look for, is that positivity, because the last thing you want is, especially in a role like mine, because it can, you're dealing with complaints quite a lot of the time and things like that in sort of an operations role as well. You're dealing with the negatives more than the positives. You've got to have that positive outset in order to overcome those issues. So I think positivity is a big thing. Organisation is huge. When you've not, we've got good software and systems that we work off, but you're also working off a lot of spreadsheets, and a lot of things have got to be updated, and you need to know where you are day to day and keeping track of your diary, and you're also that organisation support for the rest of the team as well. So yeah, that's a big one in this role. And I think it's just those two are the main ones really in order to get by.
No, you're definitely positive. You definitely, like, some of the time chatting to you, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just so glad you're dealing with this and I don't have to do it. Which,
I thought you were going to say, oh my God, if she doesn't stop bloody smiling.
No,
I thought you were going to say.
I have no problem with that. I love it when we get the 80s or 90s tunes on in the office. That, to me, that's good.
Yeah.
Or Christmas, obviously, as we did recently.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you say has been the biggest influence in your career?
Andy Thomas. No.
Well, I'm not doing a David Brenton angling for that, but like what?
No, Andy, yeah, you have been massively, but we'll come to you. There's been a few people that sort of led me to where I am today. So I've learned from some really good key people that I've worked with in the past and present. So like I say, there was Nick Brimlow, who owned the estate agent at the time that I worked for. I've been really lucky in the position that I've been in to work so closely with these people and learn from them. These are people that have been in business for years. So it's just been so great that I've managed to have a great relationship with them and work alongside them. So yeah, Nick Brimlow was a good one. And then it was Trevor Moore and Gavin Duncan, who I worked with in Vita. So it was the COO, and then it was sort of Trevor's number two, one of the directors at Vita. And again, it's the operation mindset that they really, that I've learned a lot of skills from them in that sense, and just organising really general things like, meetings and stuff like that, which you think might be an easy thing, but actually when it's done properly, it's it has a big impact on the team. So I learned a lot from them. Also my family, so my dad, he's actually in a very similar line of work of what I'm doing now, of what we're doing. So he's sold medical equipment in the past, and present, and he's always been a very hard worker, and I've always heard what's been going on in his business as I've been growing up. He owned his own business for a period of time, and his work ethic and the conversations that we've had throughout the years have been really impactful on my success so far. And then who I work with in the present, I mean, our team, I learn from every day. Everyone brings new things all the time. I think what you've done for me, Andy, has given me more of a voice than I've had in the past, because I've worked in I worked in a much bigger place last time, and it's that typical thing of having a board of a certain age of gentlemen who have been in business for years and years and years, and it's quite hard to have a voice in those sort of companies. And I've come here, and yes, albeit we're a smaller team, but you're very good at going, well, what do you think? And I want to you've given everyone on the team a platform in order to be able to talk and really use their skill sets. So that's been a massive thing, and I don't think I would have got here in a lot of other companies as quickly as I have done, and that's through the support you've given me. So I've learned a lot from you in that sense.
Oh yeah, no, good. I mean, culture is a massive thing for me, and like enjoying what we do, and that's a part of that is obviously financial, but it's about the team, the dynamic, and I feel like we've got an exceptional team dynamic, and it is genuinely an enjoyable place to be. You didn't mention Mike there, your husband, which
Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah, he's there too.
I think he just popped in before to make a
He
drink as well.
did. I was going to shout up before going, you can't come in for a bit, but I thought I'll leave him to it. It's not been down all day apart from during this session. Yeah, Mike, my husband, is a very, very hard worker. He's been very successful. So he's got a background in finance, and now he heads up FP&A, which is financial planning and analysis for a company called Dept, who are forever expanding and doing very well. So yeah, I mean, our conversations are continuously about work and progress and where we could get to personally in our own situation. So yeah, his support is fantastic, and that's one that you almost forget about because it's just so consistent. So thank you for bringing him up. He'll be happy that you got mentioned.
Well,
you know what it's
I like
on your
talking to
side.
him.
Yeah, and he does. He helps everybody. Yeah, he helps you too. That's right. Yeah, he's good.
What's your proudest achievement?
Work related or overall ever? Should you work?
Work, because I hope Rory and Layla will be.
Oh God, yeah, couple joking. Work. I think, progressing to the general manager position has been a huge one for me. I remember when it happened and we had the conversation, I got a message from my dad when he saw the LinkedIn post. I hadn't even told him. He's got the LinkedIn post. And what did he say to me? He said, like, oh, yeah, well done. I was general manager at 29. So I'm like, I could beat me by 2 years. I was like, thanks, Dad. But no, but again, that makes me so proud that my dad's been in those positions before. And, that's what I'm saying. He's a really big support to me that we can, discuss work on a regular basis. And yeah, I think that's been, when you sort of foresee, or if I look back like we did, and when I came back to uni, not really knowing what I wanted to do, I'm proud that I've worked hard, I've learned from some great people, but then put those things into practice to end up where I am today. So yeah, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, well, no, you definitely should be, because you're a massive help to me and the organisation. So that really does make my life a lot easier.
Thank you.
So that's good. And what are you most excited about the future?
Where we're going to go. And it's a really nice time to talk about it because, we just had our end of year meetings and putting budgets together at the moment. We're looking at what our sales potential is for the year. Like we've got some fantastic products and we've sort of refined a lot of things recently. We've got the right team on board and I'm really excited to see where we're going to go as a team. We mentioned it before about how happy we all are to come to work every day. We're not saying that, just saying that like it genuinely, it's a pleasure and a privilege to come to work every day and be contributing to where it is that we can go as a team. So yeah, I think I'm excited. I think the whole team is, and yeah, it's just to see what the future holds really.
And how do you switch off then, even though it's a pleasure and a privilege to be with me daily?
I don't switch off because I've got 2 young children at home. I switch off about 9:30 when the kids are in bed and I've tidied up and I'm in bed and I watch rubbish on Instagram or
The Traitors.
YouTube.
Don't forget
The Traitors, so good. I switch off when I watch Traitors. I switch off when I listen to podcasts and stuff on the way to and from work. I read a lot, so when I get in bed as well, yes, I'll have a scroll of Instagram, but I've always got a book before I fall asleep, so that's my sort of switching off period. But yeah, I mean, I say I don't switch off when I'm with the kids, of course I do. They're a fantastic distraction from everything. So yeah, when I'm playing with the kids and I'm a keen netballer, so when I'm on the netball court, I think that's the one time I don't think about anything but getting this ball, getting it in the net. That's my
getting player of the match.
Getting player of the match, yeah. Or as Mike calls it, lady of the evening. So yeah, one of those.
And part run, don't forget part run.
And part run, although I haven't really kept it up this year, only because it's so cold. I'm going to wait until it gets a bit warmer. But yeah, part run tends to be a consistent, and netball for sure is my big switch off.
And then, so you said about reading. What's the one book that you can think back and think that was amazing? I was like so consumed by it.
So many. So the ones I'm going to do ones because it's a series. that I really like is so it's the ones that J.K. Rowling wrote under the pseudonym Robert Galbraith, which is a detective series. It's Cormoran Strike as the lead detective, and they are fantastic detective books. So yeah, love them. And they've also done a BBC series on them, which is just as good. So yeah, that's a massive recommendation for anyone who likes that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, I know you've mentioned that before. I need to check them out.
Really
It's
good, yeah.
a good switch off one. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so
Oh
yeah.
yeah, love Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter as we were traveling around New Zealand in a camper van. Mike was doing all the driving and he was trying to talk to me, and I was
You're
reading Harry
reading.
Potter. He was like, "Are you going to talk to me?" And he was like dazed and being like, "No, I'm reading." And he was just by himself, taking in the scenes. Bless him. But
Yeah, do
yeah.
you know what? Well, that's no, it's not about me, this one, but I got introduced to Harry Potter in Australia. So,
Oh, did you? How
you know,
funny.
like you've got no money, and then
Yeah.
you're like, we found the Goblet of Fire. So book 4, and just like, well, I don't care, you know, it's a free book basically. So
Yeah, yeah.
you just start reading it, and it's like, oh my God, how
Yeah.
good's
This is
this?
amazing. Yeah. Did you then go
Absolutely
back and
amazing.
start from the start?
Yeah, yeah. So then I
Yeah.
went back, and I remember I went fruit picking, and I
Mm.
just did one day, and I'm like, this is not what I want to be doing. So I
I want
stopped
to
that. I
read
think
Harry Potter.
halfway through the day, I'm like, right, I was going to do 2 months of it, sacked it off, and went and in the library they had the 3 books, so I went and read
Mhm,
them. And honestly, to this day, that's still one of my best decisions ever. Was
mhm,
not picking pairs and going to
mhm.
read Harry Potter.
Amazing.
So,
It's funny what you remember though, isn't it, of those experiences? Like you were in Australia, yeah, it was the Harry Potter that won it for you.
oh yeah, 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 no, absolutely. Yeah, well, we
Yeah,
need to finish on you here, really. So,
yeah.
what is the key motivator for you, just in life, not just a work perspective?
Key motivator. What is in a person that I'm motivated by, or
No, just
just
like
in
for you,
general?
just you in general.
I think health and happiness is just what I'm about. So I think I'm always a glass half full. I know you say I'm a positive person, but I genuinely think I am. And I think it's quite a skill to have when something negative is happening, where you go, well, what are the positives? I've always sort of been like that. So I think that's lucky in that sense, because I know some people aren't that way. So I think that yeah, the big motivator is just to sort of maintain that and just know what you've got, which maybe other people don't have, and just see that, see the bigger picture of things and don't get consumed in the tiny detail, because the tiny detail is so irrelevant that'll probably be forgotten the next week. So yeah, it's just always sort of seeing things from that way, and always trying to better yourself, but not in an unrealistic sense. So don't be like, I'm going to try and achieve this and then this and this, because most likely you're not going to get there. So it's the small things that you can do maybe day to day in order to make yourself feel better the next week if you're not particularly feeling that well that week. And that might be just eating a bit better, or doing a little bit more exercise, or just little bits that can contribute to a better lifestyle and a better frame of mind, in the
Mm.
short and long term. So yeah, I think that's what I sort of live by.
Yeah, no, very good. No, well, I know I say you're positive, and it can sound a bit of a flippant comment, but you are positive, but realistic with it as well. I think that's the key thing, is being really positive, but in a realistic thing of, yeah, we're gonna do this, this is that. It's like, no, we've got this. This is how we're going to do it, and then
Mm.
cracking on and doing it. So to me, that's great, because it's got that sort of front end stuff, but then it's got the actions of how you're going to get there as well.
Yeah.
So genuinely, you are a pleasure to work with, and thank you for all your time today and sharing those.
No
And
worries.
yeah, thank you.
Sign off in Katie style.
See you later. Thanks,
See
Emily.
ya. Bye.